What is the most terrifying fact? You can die any second of the day for no known reason other than your body has decided it's done with this business of living now. You have Brugada syndrome and you had a fever too long. Heart attack. You didn't know you had a brain aneurysm and you hit your head. Pop. You bleed to death inside your skull. Just really tall and kinda skinny? You need a collapsed lung. The human body is weirdly fragile for no apparent reason sometimes. The defense mechanism of the fulmar. When threatened, fulmar will projectile vomit a nasty, sticky orange colored, oil type substance at its attacker. The vomit hardens and glues the attacker's feathers together, rendering it flightless. So now the attacker tries to clean the vomit off in a body of water, only for them to find out the oil type vomit has effectively removed all possibility of buoyancy in water. And the attacker sinks to the bottom and drown. While the fulmar looks on from a distance, watching, waiting for the bubbles to stop, and silently chuckling to itself. Terrifying. My mum died of ischemic heart disease. She had no symptoms at all. Just went to sleep one night and never woke up. As it's what also killed my granddad. It's super likely I have it. But I can't get tested until I'm over 40 and only if the doctor decides it's enough of a thing. After you are medically dead, your brain exhibits a spasm of activity, as if it knows it is now dead. You've already done many things for the last time. Spiders can eat hummingbirds. The US has lost a confirmed 14 nuclear missiles since 1950. And we still don't know how many nukes the Soviet Union lost. Fricking rabies. I still get chills whenever I think of the comment in one of the threads. I checked on the original post but it's removed now. That stuff is nightmare fuel. Edit. The world limit in the comment below was full. The comment is from user Masterpiece. I had copied the comment and kept it in my notepad to share it with people who were taking this very lightly. Today's medicine is mostly based on disturbing human experiments. That one morning you can wake up, go about your day, be completely normal, then suddenly get a severe headache. No big deal, right? You've had migraines before so you head to lie down. But instead that's it. You drop dead from a brain aneurysm. Or you survive and are rushed to the hospital where misdiagnoses and delays in diagnosis happen in up to quarter of the patients and every second counts. 50% of ruptured blood aneurysms are fatal. 66% of those that survive have neurological damage. In those that survive, 20% have it happen to them again. Some people don't even experience symptoms before having one. Frick brain aneurysms. There are so many things in space that could just end the world in a second. And we couldn't even try to stop it. There's plenty of world ending, or at least human ending, junk in space and it's possible that something will hit us eventually. Most of what we know about is bright shiny things that reflect light well. But there are a whole lot of others that are really dark. It's like the solar system has a bunch of ping pong balls floating around. Some of them are bright and shiny white or rock colored. But some look spray painted black or very dark brown. We know where a lot of the shiny ones are. But the dark ones are almost invisible on the backdrop of dark space and we only really see them when they move in front of something bright or light hits them at just the right angle. If they are moving quickly, we might have a few hours up to a week to prepare. And that's assuming someone spots it the moment it gets close enough to see with a telescope. Sometimes we don't see them and we only see them after they've already missed Earth. The odds are really low that we'll actually get hit by any given rock. Because space is really big. But there are lots of rocks out there, with plenty of time to float around. So eventually Earth will get hit. I've always liked this Arthur C. Clarke quote: two possibilities exist, either we are alone in the universe or we are not. Both are equally terrifying. Years ago I saw an episode of Monsters Inside Me where this guy was doing something outside and a fly flew into his eye. It only made contact for about a microsecond. But it was enough time for it to lay eggs. After they hatched they started eating his eye from the inside and he was starting to go blind until a doctor figured out what was wrong. Just imagine that. Getting your eye eaten from the inside and losing your sight all because a fly very briefly made contact with you. Ever since I learned about this I get really paranoid when there is a fly around my face because of the fact that this could possibly happen to me. The fact that you realize death is real after one of your loved ones had died. And realizing your mother, grandma etc will die soon as well. I lost my dad 4 months ago and I can tell you it hits hard. Male. 16 years old. Edit. First of all, thanks for the upvotes and the award, kind stranger. Second, I want to tell about my relationship with my dad. He actually is my aunt's husband. My biological parents divorced when I was in first grade and I was with my father and grandma. When I turned 9 or 10 my grandma broke her leg so she couldn't take care of me. And my dad had a busy work schedule. I started with living with my aunt and Robert. We lived for 7 years and he taught me almost everything I know about life including English. I am Turkish and I had almost zero knowledge about English. Now I am fluent with a half Canadian accent. Yes, he was Canadian. If the sun exploded, we wouldn't know for 8 minutes. The total mass of all of the ants on Earth is equal to the total mass of humans. Ants can lift 10x their weight. They could easily take over if they got it together. A method of epilepsy treatment is by cutting the neural wire that connects each of the halves of your brain. People who have gone through this treatment are shown to have 2 separate consciousness controlling one body. One half can talk. The other recognizes family and people you know, while the other is unable to do the same. They have specific functions that make them seem more or less likely to be the real you. Both sides have disagreements in choice. One wants one flavor while the other wants a different one. And expresses this by physically forcing the other half's hand to agreement. All the while they are still able to effortlessly do normal tasks they did before, like walking and eating. Vision is also separated. Something only visible to the right eye is only received and taken note of by the left brain, because right controls left and left controls right from brain to body. What makes this terrifying is thinking about these 2 entities and possibly separate people and opinions is this one important question. Which one of these is you? Edit. People who go through this procedure are able to live normally. That's obvious. The procedure wouldn't be done anymore if it made someone's life worse. It adds more daily inconveniences. These inconveniences show what makes this freaky. That COVID-19 is actually a lot less dangerous than it could have been. The next one might have a longer incubation time and much higher mortality rate. Or primarily kill people in their 30s and 40s. Or both. Like the Spanish flu. Imagine how fricked we will be then. In fact, I think we caught a lucky break with COVID-19. It's serious enough to force us to take it really seriously. And so learn how to deal with a serious pandemic. But at the same time mild enough to not completely ruin the world as we know it. COVID-19 is our pandemic dress rehearsal. Next time, we will know the drill. Prion diseases exist. Vending machines kill more people than sharks every year. Locked-in syndrome. I'll blink 27 times to signal to kill me. Off topic, why did I think reading this thread would be a good idea? Herobrine wasn't removed in 1.16. 95% of the ocean has been left unexplored. People think aliens are gonna come from outer space. Think again. Babies are born with their adult teeth already inside their skull. That the brain is so ready to interpret facts on a whim even when it's wrong. As an example, I misread this thread as what is the most terrific fact you know and thought after a few comments that people were too dumb to know the difference between terrific and terrifying. Never be afraid to fact check. that during the Cold War, both sides' early warning systems mistook the sun and moon for missiles. Pure luck that the people in charge were skeptical saved the world twice. I read that feeling is the last sense to go when you die, so I have this fear of being declared dead but then feeling everything they do to me after. So if I'm dead, am I still conscious for a time but unable to move? Will I be cut in two? Stuck in a freezer? All cockroach can fly, they just forget how, so if you scare them at some point they gonna figure it out and you gonna have to fight against flying cockroach. Humans have caused 322 animal extinctions over the past 500 years. Everything is motivated into the direction of entropy. The weeds will continue to grow. The plants will wilt. The sun will blow up. And we can't help it. We're all gonna die. Everything we are doing, in our futile attempts, will just delay this impending doom. The Great Depression, plus the unfairness of the Treaty of Versailles, caused the German people to turn to the Nazi Party out of desperation, thus bringing about WW2. Economists are predicting a similar global depression due to COVID. If there isn't some sort of large-scale conflict within the next 10 years, I'll eat my hat. Everything in your bathroom is covered in fecal matter. One I learned today, the Russian government keep Hitler's teeth in a cigar box somewhere in Russia. The Ophiocordyceps unilateralis fungus which infects humans in The Last of Us is in real life, but it is only infecting insects and not mammals. The universe is likely limitless in regard to both physical boundaries and time. With coronavirus not contained, political instability, financial upheaval, and climate change coming due, it's quite possible that 2020 will be the best year we have for a while. The events of the movie Come and See are some of the most realistic depictions of life in Nazi-occupied East European countries and of the Holocaust outside of the death camps ever in a movie. You are not afraid of being alone in a dark room, you're just afraid of not being alone in a dark room. Parents, there comes a moment when you will pick your child up for the last time. And you don't realize that's the case until well after it's happened. A couple years ago a reporter completely exposed that the 1% heirs of the world are all in a secret circle together, which is just a huge tax evasion scam. She was found dead the day after and supposedly killed herself. That fact lists on Reddit often contain the same facts but from different people. Even the most well-respected and intelligent scientist on Earth is only capable of answering questions of how and why we are here, or WTF space is all about, based on the infinitely limited scope of data we have from our tiny corner of the universe. Imagine solving a puzzle with 75% of the pieces missing. You're most likely very close to the person that will eventually kill you. That as much as 13% of America's nuclear arsenal is pointed at ourselves. That the people in power turn the people without power against each other so that they can remain in power and grow their wealth. And it's working and there is nothing we can do about it. Your pet will most likely die before you. That one day the universe will be dark forever. A few years ago Google made an AI. They had to shut it down when it started communicating to itself in its own language. You are just a skeleton covered in meat. Life doesn't care about you. It is a biological trick to perpetuate itself. Our only purpose is to be born, mature enough to reproduce, and die. Nothing we do matters in the grand scheme of the universe. The kid running our simulation is getting to the screw it. I'm bored point of the game. Owls kill more people than you think. Only 5% of the ocean is explored. That religious fundamentalists have control over nuclear weapons.
Hi there. Look, if you enjoyed the video, well, why not go ahead and hit that like and subscribe to Reddit Stories? In fact, if you want to see even more responses to this thread, well then, take a look. There's the link in the description below. And remember, show some love to those authors while you're there. And I look forward to seeing you next time.